The warning signs. The signal came on a Tuesday. Dr. Marcus Rivera stood in the control room of the Atacama Large Millimeter Array, his coffee growing cold beside his keyboard as he stared at the wavelength pattern on his screen. After 15 years of searching the stars for signs of intelligent life, he'd learned to temper his excitement at unusual signals. But this was different. "Run it again," he told his research assistant, Zara Patan, who sat at the adjacent terminal. Her fingers flew across the keyboard, dark eyes intense with concentration. The pattern repeated itself, 6 distinct pulses, each separated by precisely 3.14 seconds. Pi. The universal constant. "It's not random noise," Zara whispered, her voice trembling slightly. "And it's not coming from any known stellar body." Marcus nodded slowly, his heart rate increasing. "No. This is deliberate. This is." He paused, barely able to believe what he was about to say. "This is first contact." Within hours, observatories across the globe confirmed the signal. As Marcus prepared for the inevitable flood of media attention, a more disturbing pattern emerged. The signal was getting stronger. Whatever was sending it was getting closer. The next 3 days passed in a blur of emergency meetings and classified briefings. Marcus found himself pulled from his comfortable academic world into a whirlwind of military consultations and government oversight committees. General Diana Blackwood, a stern woman with silver-streaked hair and decades of combat experience, led the response team. Dr. Rivera, she addressed him during a late-night meeting at the Pentagon, "What exactly are we dealing with?" Marcus projected the signal pattern onto the briefing room's main screen. "It's not just a greeting," he explained. "It's a warning. The message contains detailed stellar coordinates and what appears to be tactical information. Someone out there is trying to tell us something urgent." Before he could continue, alarms blared throughout the building. General Blackwood's phone buzzed with an urgent message. Her face paled as she read it. "Multiple objects just appeared in high Earth orbit," she announced. "They weren't there a second ago. They just materialized." The room erupted in controlled chaos as military personnel rushed to battle stations. But Marcus noticed something odd about the new arrivals' positioning. "They're not in attack formation," he said, studying the tactical display. "Look at how they're arranged, it's the same pattern as the signal." On the main screen, one of the vessels began broadcasting on all frequencies. The message was in multiple languages, including perfect English. "People of Earth, we are the Construct Collective. We come seeking alliance against the Void Dominion. Your civilization's survival depends on your next choice." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Humanity had just been thrust onto a galactic stage, and the stakes were higher than anyone had imagined. General Blackwood turned to Marcus. "Doctor, you've spent your life searching for intelligent life. What's your assessment?" Marcus studied the data streaming across his tablet. The ship's technology was beyond anything humanity had achieved, but there was something elegant about their design, something that spoke of rational minds rather than conquering forces. "We need to hear them out," he said finally. "But carefully. The fact that they're warning us instead of simply conquering us suggests they respect autonomy. They need something from us, something specific." As if in response, the alien vessels projected a massive hologram visible from Earth's surface, a three-dimensional map of the galaxy, with spreading zones of darkness marking the advance of something called the Void Dominion. Earth sat at a crucial strategic point, and the pattern was clear: we were next. "They're not just offering an alliance," Zara said, breaking her usual quiet demeanor. "They're offering us a chance to fight back before the fight comes to us." General Blackwood nodded grimly. "The question is, are we ready for what that means? We've never fought beyond our own atmosphere. We've barely reached our own moon." Marcus looked at the holographic map again, at the patterns of stellar movement that matched his years of observations. "Maybe that's exactly why they're here," he said. "We're not set in our ways. We're adaptable. And if what they're showing us is accurate, we're about to need that adaptability more than ever. The next 48 hours would determine humanity's role in a conflict that spanned galaxies. As Marcus watched military leaders and politicians debate humanity's response, he couldn't shake the feeling that the aliens had chosen Earth for a reason, and that reason might have less to do with our strategic position and more to do with something uniquely human that they desperately needed. The warning signs had been there in the stars all along. Now it was time to decide if humanity would answer their call. First Contact Protocol. The Construct Collective's vessel hung in Earth's orbit like a massive crystalline snowflake, its faceted surfaces reflecting sunlight in hypnotic patterns. Commander Naomi Harrison stood at the viewport of the approaching shuttle, trying to quiet the butterflies in her stomach. After 20 years in the Air Force, she'd never imagined her next mission would take her beyond Earth's atmosphere. Final approach vector confirmed, announced Flight Lieutenant James O'Connor from the pilot's seat. His normally jovial Irish accent carried an edge of tension. The collective's docking protocols are unusual, but we're managing. Dr. Rivera sat beside Naomi, clutching his tablet. Their technology operates on principles we're just beginning to theorize about. The fact that they've adapted their systems to interface with our shuttle is remarkable. The small delegation had been chosen carefully, Commander Harrison for military expertise, Dr. Rivera for scientific insight, and protocol specialist Raj Mehta for diplomatic finesse. They represented humanity's first official contact team. The shuttle shuddered slightly as invisible forces guided it into a shimmering docking port. Naomi watched in fascination as the crystalline structure seemed to flow around their vessel, creating a perfect seal. Atmosphere reading nominal, James reported. They've matched our pressure and composition exactly. Raj adjusted his tie, dark eyes focused on the airlock. Remember, every gesture could have significance we don't understand. We need to be dash. The inner door dissolved. Standing in the doorway was a being that defied easy description. It appeared to be made of interlocking geometric shapes that shifted and flowed like liquid crystal, yet maintained a roughly humanoid form. When it spoke, its voice emerged from no discernible mouth, resonating directly in their minds. Welcome, children of Earth. I am Interface Coordinator Prisma. You have many questions. We have little time. Naomi stepped forward, following the carefully rehearsed protocol. We are honored to dash. Protocol is luxury of peace, Prisma interrupted, its form rippling with urgency. Void Dominion advances faster than predicted. Must show you truth. The crystalline walls around them suddenly became transparent, revealing the vast chamber beyond. Dozens of beings like Prisma moved among what appeared to be medical pods. Inside each pod was a different alien species, many showing signs of injury or distress. Refugees, Prisma explained. Survivors of void expansion. Each species chose differently. Some fought. Some surrendered. Some tried to hide. The being's form darkened. All fell. Dr. Rivera stepped closer to one of the pods, his scientific curiosity overtaking his caution. These injuries, they're not from conventional weapons. Void Dominion does not seek to conquer. Seeks to consume. To absorb. To transform all life into their singular vision of perfection. Prisma led them deeper into the ship. Your species interests us because you understand something others forgot. And what's that? Naomi asked, noting potential tactical positions out of habit, though against beings like this, she wasn't sure traditional tactics would mean anything. Chaos. Prisma's form brightened. Other species seek order. Perfection. Predictability. Humans embrace chaos. Create art. Music. Dance. War. The being gestured to a massive display showing Earth's transmissions. You find patterns in chaos and chaos in patterns. This is why Void fears you. Raj, who had been quietly observing, finally spoke. The Void Dominion knows about us. They know what we know. Prisma's form rippled with what might have been amusement. We have hidden your signal, masked your development. They believe Earth primitive, unworthy of attention. This advantage. Brief advantage. The display shifted, showing a massive dark fleet moving through space like a swarm of locusts. They will discover truth soon. Will come to consume or destroy. Unless we help you fight them, Naomi finished. But why us? We're centuries behind your technology. Technology is tool. Mind is weapon. Prisma's form pulsed with intensity. You understand war differently. Other species fight with logic, strategy, optimal solutions. Humans. The being replayed scenes from Earth's history, humans fight with heart. With inspiration. With impossible hopes. You turn weaknesses into strengths. Make art from destruction. Find victory in defeat. Dr. Rivera studied the tactical displays with growing concern. These patterns, the Void Dominion's expansion is accelerating. How long do we have? 3 of your months before they discover Earth's true nature. 6 before their first ships arrive. Prisma turned to face them directly. We offer knowledge. Technology. Alliance. In return, we need what only humans can provide, the ability to think beyond logic. To embrace chaos as ally. Naomi exchanged glances with her teammates. They had come expecting a diplomatic mission. Instead, they were being offered a crash course in interstellar warfare with humanity's survival at stake. There's something you're not telling us, she said finally. Something about why the Void fears us specifically. Prisma's form stilled completely. Yes. Show you now. The chamber around them transformed into a vast star map. At its center, Earth pulsed with an energy pattern unlike anything else in the galaxy. Your planet. Your species. Unique. Not just physically. Quantumly. Prisma's voice carried a new tone, something like all. You exist in state of constant creative chaos. Every human mind is quantum computer beyond our ability to replicate. You dream. Imagine. Create. Destroy. Rebuild. All simultaneously. The implications hit Dr. Rivera first. You're saying we're naturally quantum-enabled? That our consciousness is weapon Void cannot counter, Prisma confirmed. Because they cannot predict it. Cannot control it. Cannot consume it without destroying what makes it valuable. Commander Harrison straightened her shoulders, military training kicking in as she processed the tactical implications. How do we begin? Already begun. Prisma gestured, and the walls filled with new data, technical specifications, tactical analyses, strategic assessments. Now we prepare. Void comes. Earth must be ready. As the human delegation began absorbing the magnitude of what they were being offered, none of them noticed the subtle scan Prisma initiated, a scan that confirmed what the collective had hoped: these humans were not just quantum-enabled, they were evolving. And in that evolution lay the galaxy's best hope for survival. The human factor. The integrated training facility beneath the Mojave Desert buzzed with activity. Lieutenant Adrian Patel watched holographic battle simulations play out above the central command table, his mind racing with possibilities that would have seemed impossible just 2 months ago. Run it again, he commanded, his dark eyes never leaving the display. This time, let's try something unconventional. The Construct Collective's training officer, a crystalline being who had chosen the name Echo, shifted with curiosity. Define unconventional, Lieutenant. Adrian smiled, inputting new commands. In naval warfare on Earth, submarines would sometimes use thermal layers in the ocean to hide. What if we applied the same principle to space combat, using gravitational waves instead of water? The simulation reset. This time, the human ships dove into the rippling gravitational wake of a neutron star, using its distortions to mask their approach. The Void Dominion's ships, programmed with conventional tactical responses, never saw the attack coming. Fascinating, Echo resonated. You adapt water-based tactics to space. Illogical, yet effective. Around them, other human officers worked with collective trainers, each bringing their own military traditions to bear on space combat. Captain Sofia Rossi, a former Italian naval commander, was revolutionizing fleet formations. Major Deng Wei from China's strategic forces was developing new applications for the collective's quantum shielding technology. The Void expects perfect efficiency, Adrian explained, adjusting the simulation parameters. They see patterns everywhere. So we give them chaos. We show them patterns that lead nowhere while hiding our true intentions in plain sight. The facility's door slid open, admitting Commander Harrison and Dr. Rivera. They'd aged years in the past months, working around the clock to prepare Earth's defenses. "Lieutenant," Naomi called out, "we need your team. We've got confirmation, the Void has discovered our quantum signatures. They're coming sooner than we thought." Adrian's throat tightened. "How long?" 4 weeks, not 6 months. "They're sending an advance force to evaluate us." She activated a tactical display showing the approaching Void fleet. "We need to be ready. Show them what we've developed," Dr. Rivera urged, his usual academic calm replaced by urgent excitement. Adrian nodded, pulling up the combat data from their latest simulations. "We've been applying Earth's military history to space warfare in ways the Void won't expect. Guerrilla tactics from Vietnam. Desert Storm front maneuvers. World War II submarine warfare principles." Echo's crystalline form pulsed with approval. "They have achieved 67% success rate against our most advanced Void combat simulations." "That's not good enough," Naomi frowned. "We need better." "No," Adrian countered, "we need to be less better. Less perfect." He manipulated the holographic controls, showing a chaotic series of maneuvers. The Void expects perfection. They analyze patterns. The more perfect we try to be, the more predictable we become. Dr. Rivera stepped closer to the display, his scientific mind catching on. "You're suggesting we intentionally introduce randomness into our tactics?" "Controlled chaos," Adrian confirmed. "Every human pilot, every gunner, every tactical officer brings their own background, their own instincts. Instead of trying to standardize them, we embrace the differences." Echo's form rippled with what they'd learned to recognize as excitement. "This matches quantum theories about human consciousness. Each mind creating unique probability waves." "Exactly," Adrian expanded the tactical display. "We've been running simulations with mixed crews, different nationalities, different military backgrounds. When we let them improvise within broad strategic guidelines instead of following strict protocols, our success rate jumps to 89%. Commander Harrison studied the data, her expression thoughtful. "The Void won't just be testing our military capabilities. They'll be assessing how we think, how we react." "Then let's show them something they've never seen before," Adrian suggested. "Something that goes against every principle of their perfect, ordered universe." He brought up a new simulation, this one showing Earth's combined fleet. But instead of the precise formations favored by the collective, the ships moved in seemingly random patterns that nonetheless contained hidden purpose. "We call it quantum combat doctrine," he explained. "Every ship, every squad operates independently within a larger strategic framework. No two units fight exactly the same way. The patterns are there, but they're human patterns, intuitive, adaptive, unpredictable." Dr. Rivera's eyes widened as he grasped the implications. "You're weaponizing human creativity itself." "More than that," Echo interjected, their crystalline form shifting through complex geometries. "They are weaponizing the quantum nature of human consciousness. Each tactical decision creates wave of possibilities that void systems cannot predict. Commander Harrison watched the simulation play out, showing human ships dancing through space in beautiful chaos, striking from impossible angles, retreating in ways that seemed random but served hidden purposes. "How soon can we implement this across the fleet?" she asked. Adrian checked his data. "We've been quietly training crews in the basics for weeks. With the collective's quantum communication networks, we can update tactical protocols ships immediately." "Do it," she ordered. "And Adrian, when the Void arrives to test us, make sure we show them exactly how unpredictable humanity can be." As the orders went out and the facility erupted into renewed activity, Adrian felt a surge of pride. Humanity had taken its first steps into galactic warfare not by becoming more alien, but by embracing what made them uniquely human, their creativity, their adaptability, and their beautiful, perfect imperfection. Echo watched the humans work, their crystalline form resonating with something close to hope. The Void sought to impose perfect order on a quantum universe. But here, in this underground facility, humanity was proving that chaos could be the greatest weapon of all. Breaking point. The Void Dominion's advance fleet emerged from hyperspace like a tear in reality, a perfect geometric pattern of black ships that seemed to absorb both light and hope. In the command center of the EDS Prometheus, Earth's first quantum-enhanced battleship, Lieutenant Adrian Patel felt his heart race as he studied their formation. "Interesting," he murmured. "They're not even trying to hide their capabilities. This is a show of force." Commander Harrison stood beside him, her face illuminated by the tactical displays. "They think we're primitive. Let's use that." The comm system crackled with the Void's first transmission. Unlike the collective's telepathic communications, this was a harsh, mechanical voice that seemed to strip the warmth from the air itself. "Inhabitants of Sol 3. We are the perfection of the Void. Your quantum signatures have been detected. You will submit to evaluation for potential inclusion in the Grand Unity." Dr. Rivera, monitoring the quantum readings from his station, looked up sharply. "They're scanning us. Deep scans, trying to analyze our consciousness patterns." "Let them look," Harrison commanded. "Adrian, implement Protocol Chaos." Adrian's fingers flew across his console, sending coded quantum transmissions to Earth's waiting fleet. The ships, hidden behind the Moon and in Mars' orbit, began moving according to their carefully orchestrated plan of beautiful disorder. The Void's voice came again, "Your orbital defenses are inefficient. Illogical. This confirms preliminary assessments of your primitive status." Harrison allowed herself a small smile. "Respond on all frequencies. Keep it simple, keep it human." Adrian opened the channel. "This is Lieutenant Adrian Patel of Earth's Defense Force. We welcome peaceful contact with all species." There was a pause, longer than light-speed communications should require. They were analyzing every nuance of the response. "Your quantum signatures suggest higher evolution than your technology indicates," the Void responded. "You will submit to immediate evaluation. Resistance will result in your extinction and absorption into the Grand Unity." "Now," Harrison whispered. Adrian sent the signal. Across the solar system, Earth's ships began to move. But instead of emerging in standard combat formation, they appeared to scatter randomly, like startled fish in a pond. The Void fleet's perfect geometric pattern shifted slightly, adjusting to track the apparent chaos. "Your tactical response is suboptimal," the Void announced. "You will be eliminated for the greater perfection." The black ships began to move, their formation maintaining absolute geometric precision as they advanced. But that precision was exactly what humanity had been counting on. "All ships, execute Quantum Combat Protocol Delta," Adrian commanded. In an instant, the apparently random movements of Earth's fleet revealed their true purpose. Each ship had precisely positioned itself to exploit the Void's perfect formation. The space around the solar system erupted in controlled chaos. Earth ships dove through gravitational eddies, using the sun's radiation waves like ocean currents. Quantum-enhanced weapons fired from impossible angles, their trajectories bent by calculated interaction with spacetime itself. In the command center, Dr. Rivera monitored the quantum readings with growing excitement. It's working. Their predictive systems can't lock onto our patterns because there aren't any. The Void Fleet's perfect formation began to break down as they encountered something their billion-year-old tactical databases had never seen: human improvisation on a quantum scale. Each Earth ship fought differently, each captain interpreting the broad strategic framework in their own unique way. "Your combat algorithms are chaotic," the Void transmitted, their mechanical voice showing stress harmonics for the first time. "This is not optimal." "We're not algorithms," Harrison responded, watching as human ingenuity tore through the Void's perfect defenses. "We're human." The battle raged across the solar system. The Void's superior technology was hampered by their own perfectionism, their inability to comprehend or adapt to the controlled chaos of human warfare. Earth ships took heavy damage, but for every ship lost, the survivors adapted, learned, and struck back harder. Echo, who had remained silent throughout the battle, suddenly spoke through their quantum link. "Analysis complete. Void Fleet experiencing cascade failure of predictive systems. They cannot compute infinite possibilities of human tactical responses." Adrian watched as the perfect geometry of the Void formation shattered completely. "They're breaking. All ships, execute final phase." Earth's fleet converged from all directions, their seemingly random movements revealing themselves as a complex trap. The Void ships, their predictive systems overwhelmed by quantum uncertainty, found themselves caught in a web of overlapping fields of fire. "This is not possible," the Void transmitted. "Your species is not sufficiently evolved for such tactical complexity." "That's where you're wrong," Harrison replied. "Our complexity comes from our chaos, not our order." The battle ended not with a dramatic explosion, but with a retreat. The surviving Void ships fled into hyperspace, their perfect formation now in shambles. In their wake, they left behind not just debris, but data that would prove crucial in the battles to come. As the adrenaline of combat faded, Adrian studied the battle analysis. "They'll be back. And next time they won't underestimate us." "Good," Harrison said, her eyes on the tactical display showing their losses and victories. "Because next time, we'll be ready to show them even more of what humanity can do." Dr. Rivera's quantum readings told the true story of what had happened. "We didn't just defeat them militarily," he explained. "We forced them to confront something their entire civilization is built to deny: the power of controlled chaos, of quantum uncertainty, of human unpredictability." Echo's crystalline form pulsed with validation. "First time in known history Void advance force has retreated. Galaxy will notice. Changes everything." As Earth's fleet regrouped and repair crews began their work, Adrian couldn't help but feel that this was just the beginning. Humanity had proved itself on the galactic stage not by becoming more like their advanced allies or enemies, but by embracing what made them unique: their beautiful, powerful chaos. Evolution's edge. 3 months after Earth's first victory, the combined fleet hung in orbit around a dying star at the edge of known space. The Prometheus had been rebuilt, stronger than before, its quantum systems now fully integrated with human intuition. Commander Harrison stood on the bridge, watching the swirling energies of the red giant paint the viewscreen in shades of crimson. "They're coming," Dr. Rivera announced from his station, his quantum sensors detecting the distinctive ripples in spacetime. "The entire Void fleet. Their numbers are astronomical." Lieutenant Patel studied the tactical displays, his expression grim but determined. "They're not just coming to fight. They're coming to prove a point. To erase the chaos we represent." The construct collective ships flanked the human fleet, their crystalline forms refracting the red star's light. Echo's voice resonated through the quantum calm: "Void emergence in 30 seconds. They have evolved their tactics. The space before them tore open as the Void Fleet arrived, not in their usual perfect geometric patterns, but in a shifting, fluid formation that almost mimicked human unpredictability. Almost. Clever, Adrian muttered. They're trying to use our own chaos against us. The Void's transmission came immediately, but this time it wasn't the mechanical voice they remembered. It was a chorus of voices, speaking in harmony. We have studied your disorder. We have absorbed it. We will perfect it. Harrison's eyes narrowed. They still don't understand. Echo, are you seeing this? Affirmative, the crystalline being responded. Void attempts to systematize chaos. To create artificial randomness. Dr. Rivera's console lit up with new readings. The quantum signatures, they're trying to mimic human consciousness patterns. They've built predictive engines based on our battle data. But that's exactly why they'll fail, Adrian realized, his fingers already dancing across the tactical controls. They're still trying to find patterns in chaos. Still trying to perfect imperfection. Harrison nodded. All ships, implement evolution protocol. Show them what real chaos looks like. The human fleet exploded into action, but not according to any of the patterns they'd used before. Each ship captain had been given a simple directive: surprise us. The resulting battle defied description as human intuition and creativity merged with quantum technology in ways even their collective allies hadn't imagined possible. The Void Fleet's attempt at controlled chaos quickly broke down as they encountered genuine human unpredictability. Their artificial randomness was still bound by algorithms, still seeking patterns where humans created pure possibility. Fascinating, Echo transmitted. Human minds generating quantum possibilities faster than Void can compute them. Creating future that cannot be predicted because it does not exist until humans imagine it. The battle spread across the star system, human ships dancing through space in ways that made mockery of conventional tactics. But the Void's numbers were overwhelming, their technology still far advanced. Losses mounted on both sides. Then Dr. Rivera noticed something on his quantum readings. The star. Its quantum fluctuations, they're synchronized with our battle patterns. Harrison turned to him sharply. Explain. Our quantum combat system isn't just affecting local spacetime, he said, excitement building in his voice. We're creating a resonance pattern with the star's own quantum state. The chaos of stellar fusion, it's amplifying our effects. Adrian's eyes lit up with understanding. We can use the star itself as a weapon. Not by controlling it, but by adding our chaos to its natural entropy. All ships, new trajectory, Harrison commanded. Take us into the stellar envelope. Let's show the Void what real chaos looks like. The human fleet dove toward the dying star, their quantum shields barely holding against the intense radiation. The Void Fleet followed, their perfect formations now completely abandoned as they struggled to predict the human's intent. You cannot escape into stellar mass, the Void chorus transmitted. This is suicide by entropy. No, Harrison responded. This is evolution. At her signal, the combined human fleet unleashed their quantum weapons not at the Void ships, but into the star itself. The effect was immediate and devastating. The red giant's natural quantum fluctuations amplified the human-generated chaos exponentially, creating a cascade of unpredictability that rippled through spacetime itself. The Void Fleet's predictive systems, already strained by human tactical chaos, completely failed when confronted with the quantum uncertainty of an entire star wielded as a weapon. Their ships began to break apart, unable to maintain structural integrity in the face of pure, uncontrolled possibility. Impossible, the chorus transmitted, their harmony breaking down. This defies all patterns. All logic. All. That's the point, Harrison transmitted back.